So, hello everyone. So my name is David. I'm the CEO and owner of ZAGO Sweden. So we are a small, agency here in Sweden that we specialize in creating, Shopify Taiwan store. We work closely with Shopify, bringing a lot of merchants from all over the world onto, becoming e-commerce enable. And a little bit about me and myself and our team that's joining the meeting today. So I have been working with IT for more than 12 years and currently working, at ZAGO for building Shopify and e-commerce web store for the merchants and enabling, the way of going to the world markets to a lot of local brands and as well as Taiwan into the Swedish market as well as the European market. So together with me today, there's Shahjan. Happened by chance that Shahjan is also from Pakistan. So he's the project manager from our team. And we are quite international team with 27 team members. Shahjan have been working a lot in IT development and now helping us with managing a lot of projects, successful projects. And he's also a native Urdu speaker. So I'm going quickly through the presentations since it's quite, also take a lot of time already. So I could keep it short and very, straightforward and open for any QA in the after the presentations. So I will talk a little bit about the current e-commerce here in Sweden. As an immigrant myself, I have been here for more than 10 years now, and from beginners of knowing about Swedish culture, I have been setting up the business, working with many other entrepreneurs. I study entrepreneurs as well. So using what I have been learning, learning more about how the society and the system works here. I think one of the responsibilities that I put it onto myself would be sharing all the knowledge with the fellow entrepreneurs around the world to feel how to be entrepreneurs here in Sweden, what is the tips and tricks that I would love to know before if I know it before, that would make life much easier. So that's why we're here to share more information about that. So e-commerce here in Sweden is quite unique, and it's a stable, relatively predictable market with a very high level of English-speaking society. I've been working with many projects that were thinking about using language as Swedish language as a mandatory. However, I would say it's not always the point. You can always start with English as a main language and then additional Swedish language or any other European language as the next step. And we'll talk more about that when we go into Shopify to see how Shopify can enable the store can have multiple languages. Several factors that contributing to the market in e-commerce in Sweden, which is the it's a small community of around 10 million people, and with e-commerce it contributes around 8.7 to 10% of the total sales retail annually across multiple industry, which is a really high number. And the people here has been using really good at transportations, buying products from remotely for a very long history of time. So adapting into e-commerce is never be easier. And that's one of the really good opportunity to testing out things in e-commerce here in Sweden and the Nordics as well before applying them into other European countries. So a little bit of a statistic number. If you recall
Mr.
the first present.
Mr. David, I suggest we can skip general things like data or information, and we go straight away to the services that Shopify and you are providing, because we have a little short of time here.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So
We skip all data and
make it
general
very
information.
quick. So we have been talking about Amazon. I'll go quickly on that. Should you go with Amazon or go with the other private label? That's also in the previous presentation that we already learned. So about us, let's talk about Shopify and about the world of digital the world of digital communications. So we are a full service digital agency founded in 2013, and we have been working a lot with Shopify and credited as Shopify experts in 2016. We have been working with more than 3,000 projects, and now international team with 27 team members working remotely as well as the office here in Malmö in Sweden in the south. So today we have both Göteborg and Stockholm and Malmö at the same time, which is super cool. We work a lot with drop shippings and setting up the things with e-commerce for matching it with the European standard as well as in the Swedish way, for example, payment gateways and so on. We can go into that a little bit more detail later. So today we'll talk about what's needed for a brand in order to go to Sweden. There are 4 different kind of like benefits for merchants would like to invest into a Swedish market as well as the Europeans, from reaching more to customer as well as the growth potentials. So let's talk a little bit about Shopify in this our patients. So since we're starting in 2013, we work a lot with Magento and hosted self-hosted solutions like WordPress and PrestaShop and so on. And once we know about Shopify, we find that it's a completely new kind of horizon for us. It enables us to do many exciting things with less coding and less hassle stuff as possible, and focus into the content, focus into what matters the most is your products and how to sell the products. So no one should have sitting down and writing codes and fixing bugs on days, even though there might be still some bug here and there, but compared to other platforms, Shopify is much easier to handle. I'm sure if anyone in the audience has been working with Shopify, probably knowing how easy it is to managing theme and updating products and so on. So let's go through a little bit more detail about that, about Shopify. So for the people who doesn't know yet about Shopify, so Shopify is a hosted solutions, which means Shopify taking care of everything that you need, from the servers standpoint, from the domain name setup, as well as all of the database for the products and the extra functionalities that needed. Shopify, have it installed, so you don't have to worry about anything. So I list out a couple of advantages of using Shopify here. These are the top reasons that I think everyone should know and compare to other platforms. So Nicholas, I think, has been comparing the hosted solutions or your own store with Amazon. And here is comparing between your own store by having hosted solution and self-host like WooCommerce and Magento, for example. So with Shopify, it's very fast to the market. It's one of the trademark. I mean, with the Shopify, if you just set up a theme, set up content, you can go quick to the market within 1 or 2 weeks. So that is crazy fast. It's very secure. In fact, you don't need to do any, updates or maintenance of the the server and so on. Everything is managed by Shopify, just like your Gmail, Google account. You just need to making sure your password is secure and you're good to go. No maintenance needed. So many other platforms that, it seems to be free for setup and the server cost might be low for WordPress. However, I mean, if you would like to updates and making sure that it's secure, making sure that there's no security hole in the system, you might need to keep it updated on weekly basis or monthly basis, and sometimes those costs adding up, and those are all hidden costs that maybe you might not know at the beginning until it happens, especially when something goes wrong. So with Shopify, there's no maintenance needed. It's very scalable, meaning that you can start very small from a Shopify basic package, I think $29 per month, and up until you become an enterprise with Shopify Plus, which we have been onboarding quite a lot in recent years. Another really powerful things of Shopify is the app extensions, meaning that you can extend the functionality of Shopify using APIs with apps enabled. There's thousands of apps on the App Store right now that can optimize in upsales, cross sales. People normally purchase this with something, or SEO optimizations, anything you can imagine. Or if you like have any functions that you have in mind that's not available in the app market yet. So that might be a good opportunity to invest in making those kind of app. And please contact us if you have such idea. I would love to hear more about that. Standard and fast interface is also a trademark of Shopify with CDN enabled. So CDN in the term of content delivery network, meaning that everywhere in the world can see your website in the super fast speed, regardless of where they come from and which server. You don't have to worry about where you put your server, like in other platform. Here they copy the files and the system file and the image and the product file to the servers all around the world.
Mr.
So everyone
David,
can see it in the fast speed.
Mr. David, in fact, the participants we have, they are not, in fact, very much interested in technical details like setting up domains and networking, etc. Can you please focus on fulfillment options that we can inform the participants about delivery, shipment? These are the things most people want to listen.
Yes, so for the deliveries, I think the DHL already have mentioned quite a lot, and I did not prepare a lot about the 3PL. I did some talk about it a little bit later on, but
in fact, I have many questions piled up for you about Shopify, and
yeah,
I guess we should utilize that time to responding to that questions.
sure, absolutely.
Technical stuff like domain setup, etc. People, in fact, have ready-made solutions like from Shopify or Amazon. So, what do you suggest? Can you please wind up avoiding
Sure.
technical details so that we move forward because we are running short of time?
Sure, absolutely. So I was sharing a little bit about the recent project that we have done and the way of the setup here in Sweden, that the people are at the beginning, as we know, not really price conscious, and it's mostly about the buying experience, how you experience the purchase process. And I'll go through a little bit about our service that we provide and what to make your e-commerce store to take the full advantage of what you have been building, from business setup, from e-commerce setup and grow with Shopify, travel and visa, how to acquiring. If you are thinking about setting up the business here, there's also a huge advantage about traveling as well that you can have, and also help with the financial planning or grow the e-commerce. So about the setup in e-commerce as well as setup as a business as general. In order to run a business here in Sweden, you might need to do the business setup, and me and our team, we can help with setting up the warehousing, the import and the regulations. Can help also with FBA if needed, VAT registrations, and different kind of funding and investment opportunity. Have the network here to support all the entrepreneurs who want to grow and set up bank account and so on. The second is about setting up the e-commerce. Of course, that's also our setup, package that we have. So we can have, the entrepreneurs to setting up things with, online store, from the website design, search optimization, technical stuff. But we'll go through it very quickly since there's not so much of, time left. Some example of, the store that have been set up over Shopify that you can see. It's really flexible. You can put your imaginations going wild. There's so many functionalities, so many ways to express and telling the story of your brand. So the consultation that we have, for example, the financial planning, the travel visa, how the document preparations, so you can have, setting up the business here, as well as different kind of opportunity for, pensions and so on with the finance, planning. So that's the end of the
That's
presentations. Very quick and
fantastic.
fast. So.